So I'm up to my second lot of rego for the little Honda CB125. And considering I was only going to keep this bike for a few months and do a couple of YouTube videos on it, yet I've still got it, and here's why. Hey everyone, welcome to the Roads of Oz. My name is Matt, and on this video we're going to be chatting about my mighty CB125E and why I currently still have it. Also, things I don't love about it anymore. So we'll start from the top. Well, with fuel prices the way they are, I am so glad I've got this little bike running at 3 to 3.5 litres per 100. It's a massive saving. Cover that off in a video somewhere up here about the cost savings and how to figure it out. That's an absolute winner. It's also very handy when you're taking it into places like the city and you can park it anywhere and you can not, and I generally just don't worry about it. I don't worry about someone knocking it over compared to the Grisso or the 600 Super Sport. I don't worry about it getting damaged. It's virtually an invisible bike to law enforcement, to just about everyone. No one looks twice at this bike, which is a good thing and can be a negative thing too, especially cars, and they don't see you, but that's for another story. So what I don't like about the bike, well, let's see. That headlight is rubbish at night time. It is virtually useless. It is not strong enough. One of the upgrades I'd recommend is getting a much better LED headlight for it. It will just be better off for you in the long run. Now, I've talked about its lack of power. Everyone talks about its lack of power. For me, the only time that's an issue is when you're in areas where you need power. More often than not, I'm in peak hour traffic or I'm just commuting to and from work. I'm not on a racetrack. I'm not tearing up some of my favorite roads of a weekend. It's just going to get me there and back every time. Now, as you remember, I've done a modification of putting a tacho on it. It was a waste of money. The only thing it's really done is made the aesthetics of the dash look a little bit better. Recently I've had the tachometer fail and I just couldn't be bothered fixing it because it's just not necessary on the bike. The speedo works, everything else works on it, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Parts on it are ridiculously cheap. Now this is a good and a bad thing. Because parts are so cheap, people are less likely to order things through Honda, and because you can virtually order parts from this off the web and they're that cheap, like I picked up rear brakes for less than 20 bucks, front disc pads for less than 20 bucks. Even the dash was $130. Like, everything's cheap on this bike, and it's cheap for a reason, because they mass produced and they're sold in Asia. So I can guarantee you we're paying more than what people would pay for it over in Asia, and that's cool. It's just what it is. Sadly in Australia we get gouged on a regular basis. The rear taillight holder, it is prone to rust, and even the second-hand one I bought is starting to rust already. It's not meant to be a looker, and my one had a really hard life to begin with, so I'm constantly fighting that uphill battle. Now, I did put heated hand grips on them. I absolutely love them. That gave me a little bit more time to ride leading up to winter. Currently in winter, it hasn't seen much road time because it's bloody freezing in Sydney at the moment, and we've got this gale force wind coming through constantly, which makes riding hard work and just not interested. It doesn't go through consumables that much. The only thing you change regularly is the oil. You do that. I do that every 12 months or when I reach 4,000 kilometers. The chains, sprockets, tires, because it's not cracking out a massive amount of power, it's not wearing those things away as quickly as, say, some of your more higher performance bikes. The seat is comfy, and I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'4" or 192 centimeters. I fit on it. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong. But it's not like I'm uncomfortable. I don't look awkward. I don't feel. Probably look awkward, but I don't feel awkward on it. Sometimes you do get mistaken for an Uber rider. It's still a very good bike. What other issues have I had with it? Well, all the issues I've had is due to the abuse it's copped. Like every part I've had to replace was because it was heavily abused by the previous owners. And that's the sort of bike they are. They can be what is termed sort of a throwaway bike. People don't like putting a lot of money into them. But my opinion is, if you bought one from brand new and you looked after it, it will outlast just about everything. If it was a four-wheel drive, it'd be a Toyota Land Cruiser, just much cheaper. I'm talking about the 79 series that has no features, and this one has 0 features. There's no ABS, there's no fuel injection. It's got a carby in this day and age, and they're still selling them with carburetors. I think some of the overseas models have fuel injection, but in Australia, the CB125E, I don't know what the E must be for electric start, because that's the most technological thing on it, is a starter motor. But overall, I'm very happy with it. It hasn't let me down. The biggest trip I've done is a 150k round trip, and that was into the city and then took the long way home, and it was still a lot of fun. After about 2 hours though in the saddle, it does get a bit uncomfortable, but again, if you're doing over 2 hours on that, you're probably on the wrong bike. The best addition to that bike to date has been the lockable GV top box on it. If you're going to get a bike like this, you must get a lockable top box. It just adds so much convenience to it. You're able to lock your helmet away, you're able to put gloves in there, you don't have to lug that stuff around. And also, when you can pick up a couple of bags of shopping, you can even fit a case of beer in there. Admittedly, you'll have to take the cans out and reorganise them, but they will fit. Overall, the bike has surpassed what I expected of it. I thought I'd be bored with it after 3 months, but I just found it very convenient, especially when I'm doing night shift. I come home, I don't have to worry about locking it away. I can normally leave it parked out the front. I know no one's gonna look twice at it, and that's a good thing. I can leave it unattended without worrying about it getting damaged, and if it does get knocked over, it only cost me $1,200. It's not like it's the $3,500 paint job I had on my Ducati. In saying that, I probably will eventually sell it because I'm almost finished another project, and that is this little one here, the Aprilia Scarabeo 200. Now, the reason I'd be selling my Honda is simply to light a fire on my backside to get the Scarabeo finished. I bought this almost 9 months ago, and because the CB does so well, I haven't been in any rush to finish it. If I didn't have the CB125, I'd probably be more motivated to get it finished. So don't be surprised by the time this video comes out, the bike is sold. And if it is, it's not because it's a bad bike, it's just I've got to make room in the garage. I've had it for 2 years, and I'd like to try something different. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting a CB125E and you can get over the power thing, everything else, if you're just looking at it wholly and solely as a commuter, bike is spot on. It does the job nicely, it doesn't use much fuel, and more importantly, it's cheap and economical to fix. Anyway, on that note, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please like, share, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Helps out the channel massively. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.